Hiya Nutters! What if you want to start to paint but you have no idea how to start? I'm often talking about how creativity can help you as a daily mindful practice, and how it can give you space to break yourself from overthinking and worrying, or how it even can beat anxiety. But what if you feel the fear of starting? What if you have no idea how to start this? And what if you are making up a bunch of excuses to keep you from making a start? I was the queen of making excuses. One of the biggest of all was because my dad was an artist. He went to Willem de Kooning Academy of Rotterdam and Pierre Janssen, a famous Dutch art connoisseur who was the director at that time, let him start in second grade because his art was already too advanced to start in the first. The fact my dad was so gifted made me convinced I was certainly not. So there it was, my biggest excuse of all, which made that I never ever painted, and I kept it to knitting and crochet. Everything starts from a dot, said Wassily Kandinsky, and that's so true. You'll have to start small. The best thing that ever happened to me was to learn about art journaling and junk journals. It got me curious, and one day I just started. Was it easy? No, it wasn't at all. But how did I manage to start it then? I used 5 steps that made me overcome the fear and starting to create. Maybe you noticed, but one thing I always try to avoid is the word art, because when I hear the word art, I equal it with beautiful, and that would keep me from painting and stop doing it. So what are these 5 magical steps I used? Well, let's start with number 1. First of all, allow yourself to learn and make mistakes. When you start to think of art as something that has to be good immediately, you lay an awful lot of pressure on your own shoulders. So take it by allowing yourself to learn. There are so many ways to learn to paint, by YouTube, by wiki or books. Just search for something that you feel attracted to and allow yourself to start to learn. Did you know that they say to master a skill, you have to have done it for over 10,000 hours of practice to master it? So let that be your guide and allow yourself to learn and make mistakes. Number 2, do it every day. When you do it every day, you can call it your daily mindful practice. That way, it's not creating art, but it's there to enhance your mental health. It's there for fun and feeling good. You will get yourself into a habit that will learn you to be in the moment, and next to all of this, you will get used to your new habit. Painting, drawing, or even collaging, by doing it every day, it will start to feel familiar. You will start to feel familiar to hold that brush or to feel the paint on your fingers. You will also start to recognize how things would look if you use this marker or that brayer. Number 3. Have you ever heard of Mel Robbins? Her 5 seconds rule? It's very powerful. She says that to do something that you are dreading for to count backwards, and on number 1 you start with it. So look at your desk, feel that you want to do it, and start counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. This trick helped me especially when I'm in my overthinking mood. It helps to get me moving, and from there everything will follow. Number 4. Start with what you have. Don't get expensive art supplies. Just use the paint you have, the markers or the pencils. And use the paper you also already have. You don't have to buy canvases or very expensive paper. When you use junk that is already there, I started on the notes from my son that he made for his study. It feels like you make it a little better because it's already junk. And that feeling is very freeing for me. And it allows you to create and even throw it away if it's too ugly, because it was already old paper and it would have ended in the bin anyway. Number 5. That white paper is sometimes building up to such a fear, so why don't you start with a pencil and draw some unintentional lines on your white paper. Take a crayon and draw some circles. The beginning is often the hardest, but starting like that loosens you up. Also start to create simple things. Use one color, one brayer or a wall painter. Use a toilet roll to make some marks. Start with only one color and maybe some black and white. That way you don't have to be afraid of the colors to mix with each other and become a muddy mess. Like today, I am showing you, I used my jelly plate and made prints on the notes from my son. It's not fancy, I only used paint and made the marks. I let it dry in between so I can use different kinds of color overlapping each other. I folded them because these will be used to package my soap orders. Well, these were my little 5 steps that I used to start creating. They are by no means the ultimate 5 steps. It's just to give you an idea how I turned my fears and excuses into a daily practice. And now I cannot imagine a day going by without creating something. Don't I ever have days off? Of course I have. And on those days I am very compassionate with myself. That's how a creative life is. And it's perfectly fine to make something you don't like and then throw it away and realize tomorrow I can start all over again. This is not your normal art channel. It's not about beauty nor about perfection. I try to show that it's not about what you create, but it's the fact you do create. I have constant fights with my inner critic and I'm still doing it. So don't wait any longer. Use the words to empower your intentions. Use color to reflect your feelings. Use mark making to create some zen. And use different kinds of brushes and paint for a lot of fun. It's okay to make ugly things and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to create a mess, and it's all about the use of art and creativity as a mindful practice and to create a moment of being right here, right now, every single day. My art can be beautiful, or it can be weird, or messy, or even maybe ugly. I don't edit my art. I show you what I make that day. I don't do things over just to show you beautiful results. I show you what I make without a filter. If you like what you see, please follow my channel, and you are always welcome to give me a thumbs up. I wish you a lovely day. Think of how you can change your mood with paint and paper, and never forget that you are unique. Last but not least, Please remember the things you are grateful for, and I hope you will create something today. As Vasily Kandinsky said, it all starts with a dot. Now, a big hug from me, and bye-bye for now.